Alrighty, there we are. So let's load from where we left off. See what happens. I had a terrible night's sleep. I sit up as I hold my forehead due to a faint headache. Just what's going on with me? I murmur, recalling the dream that I had just a moment ago. Kyou appeared in it, and for some reason I was hugging her. In the dream I rested my head on her shoulder without saying a thing and did nothing but hug her. Then, next to us, Fujibayashi kept looking at us, while tears silently dripped down her face. Hey Beatrice! How you doing? Huh. Dispirited, I exhale deeply and slowly turn to look at the clock. This is the first time I am late since I started dating Fujibayashi. A familiar scene on the road to school. It's a scene I used to see all the time. For me, this used to be part of my daily routine. Even so, my steps are heavy. It's probably because I feel a twinge of guilt toward Fujibayashi for being late. No, that isn't why. The source of my guilt is something else. It comes down to the dream I saw this morning. It's why my emotions are in turmoil right now. My legs stop. If I keep going, then I'll arrive at school. If that happens, then I'll have to go to the classroom. And Fujibayashi is there. What kind of expression would I have on my face if I go there now? Wait, ouch, that sounds painful. Suddenly my shank is rammed hard by something. I'm more in shock than in pain. After one elegant revolution in the air, I land on the ground on my back. And I also hit my head. Ouch. The sky is beautiful. It's so blue and it's so wide. The white clouds gently float from right to left. Hey Game Fixer, how you doing? It's nice to like contemplate the sky after you've been in an accident and got slammed on the ground. Hey, what the hell was that? I yell as I stand up. Of course. Even though she just hit me, she looks rather unhappy. Why you? You said you weren't paying attention, so what the hell would you do if I was a kid or some old grandpa or grandma? Yeah. Just because you checked beforehand doesn't mean you can. Hey, if you checked, then stop for Christ's sake. Which is more important, the tires or... The tires. It took her -2 seconds to respond my question. That hurts pretty bad. So, you're late and riding your bike to school again? Well, I'm just walking. Could be better, but I don't want to tune down the harmonic atmosphere. Aww. I'm sorry things aren't going so well. Just, you know, find a moment to breathe and chill, and things will get sorted out in time. Somehow, I cannot get the feeling she's dodging the topic. Not affording me any attention, Kyou accelerates and speeds away from me. However, the bike seems to lack its usual punch. She keeps glancing back behind her as her bike wobbles. I was about to say, she shouldn't be glancing behind her. And she hits a pole. There we go. Hey, Kyou. I dash over to Kyou, who has fallen to the ground along with her bike. Hey, Kyou, you okay? Kyou? Can you stand? Don't worry about your bike, worry about yourself first. Well, your bike... I glance to my side. There, a bike lays on its side amongst other debris that broke off during the crash. Its back wheel powerlessly spins in a slow motion. The front is busted. She stands up as she lets out a scream. However, she immediately kneels down to hold her knee. You idiot, don't overdo it. It's just the front that's damaged, the rest of it looks fine. You weren't going that fast, it should be fine. Can you stand? At first, Kyou reaches her hand out to take the hand I am holding out, but she seems to think better of it, pulls her hand back, and stands up by herself. I put my outstretched hand, which no longer serves a purpose, back into my pocket and walk toward the fallen bike. Okay, there we go. I lift the bike up.
りがとう。
How do you start the engine?
左のブレーキ握りながら右のハンドルの横にあるスイッチを押すの。
Like this? It's not going.
嘘。壊れちゃったの？
So many onomatopoeia. Oh, it started.
よかった。買って1ヶ月経たないうちに壊しちゃったらへこむもんね。
Well, these things aren't cheap. That aside, how's your leg?
あ、うん、平気。
I see.
うん。
Our conversation comes to a halt. Amid the strangely awkward aura, only the rhythmic boom of the bike's engine can be heard. I cannot help but to feel conscious of Kyou. I cannot look her in the face. After what happened yesterday...
ほら、彼氏って彼女のことだけを考えてなきゃダメじゃない？彼女を不安がらしちゃ最悪っしょ。私のことなんて気にしてちゃダメよ。うん、ダメ。絶対ダメ。私はあんたのことどうとも思ってないんだからさ。
It reminds me of that painful smile I saw on her face yesterday.
ともや、バイク起こしてくれてありがとう。
Yeah.
じゃあ、先行くね。
Yeah. Such deep replies from Tomoya. Once Kyou gets on her bike, her shoulders droop as if she is hesitating about something. Then she speeds away while looking back at me over her. No! No, don't look back, woman! He just... Quickly growing farther and farther away, Kyou's back feels rather distant, and has a hint of loneliness that I have never felt from her before. Okay, thank God, nothing happened this time.
Okazaki, 起きろよ。
Ah?
うわ、かっこ悪い。でこ赤いぜ。
Ah, you needn't praise me like that.
岡崎、頭起きてるか？
Yeah, probably.
昼飯だぜ。早く売店に行こう。
Oh, yeah. I stand up and leave the classroom with Tsunohara.
そういや、今日もりょうちゃん、よかったの？
Nah, it's not like we planned to...
岡崎くん。
Suddenly the classroom's doors slide open. The classroom's door slides. It's one door, it slides, okay? Slides open behind us and Fujibayashi stands there. Oh, speak of the devil. Oh, wait. That was Nohara's line, sorry.
はい。噂？
あ、気にしないで。それより岡崎によ。
あ、はい。その、岡崎くん、お昼ご飯一緒に食べませんか？
I glance at Tsunohara.
じゃ、昼休みの終わりに。
As soon as he finishes, Nohara waves his hand and walks down the hallway. I suppose I can take that to mean he's running away again, like yesterday.
先に約束とかしてましたか？
Nah, not really. Anyway, let's head to the store. I need to get my bread.
今日は大丈夫。
What do you mean?
お弁当作ってきました。
With a smile on her face, Fujibayashi brandishes a lunchbox wrapped in a napkin. Perhaps it's just my imagination, but I think those words sent shudders down my spine. At the place that has now become our lunch spot, Fujibayashi sits down on the plastic sheet she brought along and unwraps the napkin around the lunchbox. She did say, without a doubt, that she made it herself. Just a week ago, when Botan ate something out of Fujibayashi's lunchbox, he nearly crossed the sticks. I wonder what would happen if I eat all of this. Shit. Nah, well, even so, it would be mean to say so to her face.
今日のお弁当は大丈夫ですよ。
Did you practice?
それなりに。
She answers with a bashful smile. I can't help but feel a sense of uncertainty from her use of the word somewhat.
でも、このお弁当は絶対大丈夫ですよ。
I hope you aren't going to tell me that's what your fortune said. If that's the case, I'm dead for sure.
お姉ちゃんが手伝ってくれましたから。
Eh? Kyou did. Ah, but wasn't she late today?
はい、多 分そうです。お姉ちゃん、お弁当手伝ってくれて寝直しちゃったから。
Oh, I can imagine that. Is that
起こし
so?
たんですけど、やっぱり起きてくれなくて。でも、どうして岡崎くんがお姉ちゃん遅刻って知ってるんですか?
He literally bumped into her, or she bumped into him. I met her on my way here.
そうだったんですか。
Kyou helped Fujibayashi make her lunchbox, huh? Which means she made it knowing I would eat it. Just how did she feel as she was helping Fujibayashi?
岡崎くん、どうぞ。
Yeah. I take off the lid and open the lunchbox. Although its contents are different, it does seem like the multi-layer lunchbox that Kyou made. Did you make all this?
一人だけでちゃんと作ったのはないんですけど、一応は。
She answers bashfully. What's this? I point at the slightly dark pork cutlets sitting in a corner of the lunchbox.
それだけはお姉ちゃんが作ったんです。
I see. I did compliment her for her pork cutlet once. Could it be she remembered that? It can't be.
この前みたいなことはないと思うので、安心して食べてください。
You can bet she remembered that. She 100% remembered that. Fujibayashi says and hands me a pair of chopsticks. Yeah, thanks. The first bell rings and signals the end of lunch. Compared to what Kyou makes, the lunchbox didn't taste that good, but it was still perfectly edible. I part ways with Fujibayashi in the hallway in order to take a detour to the restroom. I watch her bow lightly before she heads for the classroom, and then quietly let out a sigh. Next I head to the restroom. And on my way there, we bump into each other. The two of us stop and look at each other. Strangely, however, our eyes do not meet.
お昼休み、仲良かったわね。
She talks to me without making eye contact. Were you watching?
そりゃ目立つしね。
There were a lot of other people eating lunch there.
ビニールシートまで敷いて男女2人だけってのはあんたたちだけだったわよ。
I see. Well, I guess that does make us stand out.
お似合いだったわよ。
With a throb, my chest starts to hurt, and Kyou keeps quiet as well. For a while, the silence continues.
私、次の授業、教室移動だから。じゃあ。
In the end, without having looked each other in the eye once, Kyou leaves. The sound of her shoes hitting the hallway's floor comes closer and closer, and just as she walks past me, the lunchbox, Kyou stops. The pork cutlet was good. Gradually, the footsteps grow farther and farther away. Kyou did not say a thing. Just as I let out a sigh, the final bell rings.
Okazaki-kun!
Right as the bell rings to signal the end of the day's classes, Fujibayashi walks up to my desk. What is it? I think this might be the first time she's come to my desk of her own accord ever since we started going out. Everyone in the classroom is also looking this way, dumbfounded.
今日の授業はもう終わりです。
Well, of course, it's a Saturday.
それでお昼からなんですけど。
Gradually, Fujibayashi's face grows redder and redder.
買い物一緒に来てくれませんか?
She says. Her voice echoes throughout the classroom.
おい、どうなってんだ?
岡崎って隣のクラスのやつと付き合ってたんじゃなかったのか?
それって確か委員長の姉貴だろ?
俺、
二股かけてるって聞いたぞ。
Oh my god. The classmates around us burst into a whirlwind of whispers. It seems they're all whispering about the rumor. Inside my heart, I feel kind of uneasy, wondering about how Fujibayashi feels hearing all this. Fujibayashi?
ダメでしょうか?
Nah, that's not it. I feel as if everyone's glances are piercing through me. Although no one is openly staring right at us, we are the center of attention. I lower my tone and say, "What's with you all of a sudden?"
何がですか?
No, well, How should I say this? Concerned with all the people looking this way, I say, since you said all that in front of everybody,
そ
even though what I said has left her bewildered, she keeps looking at me.
別にそのおかしいことじゃないと思いますから。付き合っていれば普通だと思います。
She's come a long way.
おいおいマジか。二股って冗談じゃなかったのかよ。
つうかそもそも本当に二股なのか？
Oh my god, why can't those people just mind their own freaking business? I'm so triggered, I'm sorry. Just mind your own business. What's it to you?
本命どっちだよ。
Like, you draw conclusions all by yourselves about other people's lives, and then you judge them on the conclusions that you drew without even knowing anything about their lives. Anyway, the atmosphere in the classroom is literally roaring. In an instant, my mind turns completely blank. My relationship with Fujibayashi, which had only been a rumor up until now, has now been unabashedly declared in public. What's more, it's Fujibayashi who did it.
校門のところで待ってますから。
Before I could even answer, Fujibayashi is already walking back to her seat. Right now, our classmates can be divided into two groups. One group has their eyes on at me, while the other has theirs affixed to Fujibayashi. And they are all whispering so quietly that neither of us can hear.
なあなあ岡崎、りょうちゃんどうしちゃったの？
Yeah, I wonder what's up. I have no idea either.
あんな積極的な子じゃなかったのにな。
Maybe Kyou put her up to it, or like, gave her a little nudge. Exactly.
これでもう噂どころの騒ぎじゃないね。
え？
えって、これだけ公言したんだよ。付き合ってるかもじゃなくて、付き合ってるになったわけじゃん。
Yeah, I guess.
どうすんの？
What will I do? We actually are going out, so there isn't anything.
違うよ。今日のことだよ。多分、さっきのことがあいつの耳に入るのって、そう時間はかからないぜ。
Yeah, I guess.
どうすんの？多分さ、悩んでられる時間ってそうないよ。
Yeah, I guess. Tomoya with the deep, profound wisdom. What are these lines? Jeez. The bell rings. Now that homeroom, which seemed to have been filled with malicious stares, has finally ended. School is finally over for the day. Fujibayashi is the first person to leave the classroom. I'm not the only one who is watching her as she leaves. About 80% of our classmates are too. And just as the door slides shut, all the glares turn to me instead. This is making me feel terribly uncomfortable. Amid such an atmosphere, I take my bag and stand up. As I look around the classroom, all the people who are staring at me look away in a fluster. I sigh and walk out of the classroom. Fujibayashi she's not here anymore. She probably ran off. Still, I wonder just what is up with her. It's not just today either. She's been pretty proactive lately. She invited me to have lunch together and made the lunchbox herself, and just now she declared that we are going out in the classroom. None of these things are what I would expect from the well-behaved Fujibayashi. Because, I mean, that's that's so savage, you know? Oh my god, how dare she. I could understand when Kyou was guiding her in secret, but I doubt that's what's going on right now. Not having reached a conclusion, I put my shoes on and leave the school building. Then, over at my destination, the school gate, Fujibayashi is waiting. Up until now, she has always timidly stared at the ground, but today, she greets me with a cheerful smile. It's like she's a different person. With dumbfounded expressions on their faces, the students who are leaving are all looking at Fujibayashi and me. Not paying the glances the slightest attention, Fujibayashi walks up to me and wraps her arm around mine. Wait, her arm? I feel the glares sharpen. Fujibayashi. She says with a smile. Her face is red. Who is this girl? This isn't the Fujibayashi I know. Where are we going?
欲しいものがあるので買うのについてきてもらいたいんです。
Well, I don't mind.
ありがとうございます。
Fujibayashi smiles and grabs my arm even tighter. Fujibayashi.
はい、
It's touching.
何がですか？
Your breast.
あ、
Upon hearing what I said, her face immediately flushes deep red, and for a moment she lets go of my arm. However, she quickly grabs my arm again. Once again, I can feel the soft sensation of her breast pressing against me. Fujibayashi. With tears building up in her eyes and her face flushing red, she looks at me.
付き合っていれば、こういうのもありだと思います。
That's quite an amazing thing she just said.
そういうわけなので、行きましょう。
I really do wonder where we are going. Around us, people continue to give us strange looks. Fujibayashi continues to drag me along, even as slightly insolent thoughts run through my mind. Kyou did mention this before, but she really is surprisingly busty. Okay, great. Awesome details. With Fujibayashi's arm still clinking tightly to mine, we walk down the familiar road. In the meantime, Fujibayashi keeps talking to me tirelessly. About class, about home, about what happened in the past, about now, and about where we will go from here. Hey, Fujibayashi.
はい。
What's with you today?
何がですか？
You are acting kind of different than usual.
そうでしょうか。
How should I say this? Well, this may be rude to say, but you don't usually talk like that. And back at the classroom, what you said in front of everyone.
迷惑でしたか？
No, that's not what I meant. It's just, I thought you've changed so suddenly. Upon hearing that, Fujibayashi puts her finger on her mouth as if she's thinking something.
岡崎くんは、こんな私は嫌いですか？
Not at all, it's just...
私にも、大胆な一面があるって思ってくれたら。
A bold side to you, eh? That makes you almost like Kyou. Just as I say that name out, my face grows pale. I immediately begin to regret saying her name as I feel something beating in the back of my throat. Why would I even bring up Kyou here? She's the one person that I shouldn't be comparing her with. Acting calm, I look beside me.
そうですね。少しお姉ちゃんみたいですね。
Fujibayashi smiles, forcing my glance up to a halt. She didn't mind that?
前に岡崎くんが言ってくれました。もう少し物事を前向きに考えた方がいいんじゃないかって。そうすればお姉ちゃんみたいになれるって。
Yeah.
だからそうしてみました。少しだけ考え方を前向きに、大胆にしてみたんです。どうでしょうか？
Fujibayashi is smiling. That in itself isn't anything bad. But I wonder what this murky feeling inside me. In front of me, my smiling girlfriend is. Fujibayashi is. You seem a little tired? I am. I slept like 6 hours last night, so I'm a bit short on sleep and tiredness is getting to me. But that's alright. So Fujibayashi is overlapping with Kyou. Something runs down through my spine. I shudder, an uneasy feeling sinks into my body. I wish Nagisa had so much character development and agency as Ryo here. I think she has her own character development, although I can only speak as to what I remember from the anime. Okay, we'll get to her route and see. But yes, there is quite a nice development to her character. Like just thinking back, like I don't know, 2 streams ago, how she was then and how she is now. It's a big leap, and at the same time, it's not. It doesn't come as out of character because there's been all of this build up to this moment, and she like slowly became bolder and bolder, and like, well, first she became comfortable and then she became a little bolder. So yeah, I agree. I read that. I hope I did.
岡崎くん、こっちです。
Yeah. Fujibayashi has brought me to a corner of the shopping district. It's the accessory shop that we went to on our date. The one with Kyou tagged along. She has something to buy. Could it
い
be?
らっしゃいませ。あ、前ここに並んでいたタンザナイトのペンダント、まだあるでしょうか。タンザナイトですか？それでしたら、あ、こちらです。奥のショーウィンドウにありますよ。見せてもらえますか？はい、少々お待ちください。
With a smile, the store clerk walks to the display in the back of the store.
よかったです。ペンダント、まだ残っていました。
Fujibayashi turns to face me and says with a smile,
ずっと買おうか迷っていたんです。
Huh? That reminds me, I bought a pendant here. And I bought the purple one. So this is the one that she actually wanted? Thank God I didn't hand that to her. Isn't it great that it's still here?
はい。
Fujibayashi happily nods. I guess maybe I should pay for it. Having come here with her, it would make me feel somewhat ashamed if all I do is watch. I guess being so generous isn't always a good
お
thing.
待たせしました。こちらでよろしいでしょうか。
Having returned from the rear of the shop, the clerk is holding the pendant with a cloth. Just by looking at it, Fujibayashi's eyes start to glitter.
はい、これです。3800円になりますけど、いかがしましょう。
With a smile, the clerk looks at me.
はい、お願い。
Yeah, we'll take it.
はい、かしこまりました。すぐにお包みいたします。
The clerk smiles at me and returns to the back of the store.
岡崎くん。
Hmm? What's up?
そのペンダントなんですけど。
Since we've come here together, it's going to make me look bad if I just watch, no?
それじゃ、ひょっとして。
I scratch my head as I look away and toward the back of the store. The store clerk facing away from us is skillfully wrapping the pendant. Soon afterward, the clerk is
お
back.
待たせしました。消費税込みまして3990円になります。
Ah, okay. When I take out my wallet, Fujibayashi starts looking at me timidly. Hmm? What's wrong?
本当にいいんですか？
It would be pretty shameful if I didn't do anything. I say as I hand the store clerk my money.
では4000円お預かりいたします。
In exchange for the bills, she hands me the bag with the pendant inside. The clerk goes into the bag again to get my change. Here. I hand Fujibayashi the bag as is.
ありがとうございます。
With her face deeply red, Fujibayashi takes the pendant. She looks at the package happily. Honestly, this is a complicated feeling. It's what I have done. Is what I have done really the right thing? I'm only doing this because my feelings are wavering.
ペンダント大事にします。
Yeah. Her smile feels a little heavy on my heart.
お待たせしました。10円のお返しになります。
Ah,
あ
thanks.
とシルバークロスをお付けしますね。チェーンの部分にくすみが出ましたら、これで磨くと綺麗になりますから。ありがとうございます。
With a happy smile, Fujibayashi takes the tiny paper bag from the store clerk. She's smiling. Fujibayashi is smiling. She's looking at me with a smile. There shouldn't be anything wrong with this. Nothing wrong at all. And yet, I wonder why something just feels off. Every time I look at her smile, a sense of guilt builds up inside me.
今日はついてきてくれてありがとうございました。
Nah, it's not a big deal at all.
いえ、そんなことないです。だってペンダント買ってくれました。
Yeah, I guess there's that.
すごく嬉しかったです。ずっと大事にします。本当は今日少し不安だったんです。
Worried?
はい。実は今朝 占いをしてみたんです。
Your own fortune?
そしたらあまり良くない結果で、未来の暗示が逆位置のです。死神だったんです。
Its name alone tells me how malevolent the card
意味
is.
は惰性、停滞、よどみ、誤解。どうとってもいい方には考えられませんよね。
She says, downplaying the results of her own fortune.
外れてしまうのもまた占いです。
Well, in your case, you don't ever get it right. Ah. Crap. By accident, I let slip something that I really should not have touched. Given how much she loves fortune-telling, this must come as very harsh to her. I feel pretty awkward. I steal a glance at her, moving only my eyes to the side.
どうしました？
She seems to be acting normal? Perhaps she couldn't hear me. Well, how should I say this? Your fortunes are, well...
はい、外れます。
She knows that herself? Has she come to accept it?
ですね、正直当たらないのは残念なんですけど、というよりむしろ占いは外れた方がいいんです。
That's unexpected. I would have never thought she would answer me with a smile. Moreover, her views about fortune-telling are the most unexpected of all. How come? Don't fortunes only have meaning when they are right?
そんなことないですよ。
Give me a second. I will be right back. Give me a second. There's some background noise I need to take care of. Alrighty, I'm here. Ooh. That's not true. Okay, I'm not focused on the game. Good
あ
job,
く
me.
まで占いですから。これからの未来に向けての道しるべの一つです。つまりそれって占いが当たってしまうと未来が一つしかないみたいじゃないですか。
That's a really cool view.
だから
Really nice.
占いは外れてくれた方がいいんです。これから私たちが進む道にはたくさんの可能性があると思いたいんです。
I am honestly shocked. I never knew you could think like that when it comes to fortune telling. I feel a little embarrassed for how naive I am, thinking that there is only right and wrong. But so what happens if you get a good fortune?
いいことですか？
Yeah. If you get a result that you want to come true, would you still think it's better if it's off?
はい。もっといいことが起こるような未来になってほしいです。
Fujibayashi confidently says with a smile. To think she's so strong-willed. It makes me truly realize that she and Kyou are twins. They don't look alike, and yet they are alike. She's normally so timid and passive, but she does have a strong will of her own. It feels so dazzling, it makes me jealous. She is so strong-willed, it makes me even envious.
岡崎くん、
Hmm?
明日は創立者祭です。
Oh yeah, that's right.
それで、明後日はその代休です。
So?
それでなんですけど、 二人で遊びに行きませんか？
Eh?
用事があるなら構わないんです。もしよかったら、一緒にいたいなって思って。
She says shyly, with the red face that I have grown accustomed to. Yeah, I don't have anything planned, so I don't mind.
ありがとうございます。
She looks very happy, and bows with a smile. Watching her do that pains my heart. We are dating. I am going out with Fujibayashi, and yet... Why do my actions, my words, why does everything feel like it carries so much weight? It is somewhat painful just looking at Fujibayashi's smile. There she goes.
ともやくん。ともやくん。どうしたんですか？
Yeah, sorry, Fujibaya. Ryo.
はい。アイスクリーム買ってきました。
Thanks. I take the ice cream that Ryo is handing to me. We are in the courtyard. The sky is blue and the clouds are white. The tree leaves waver and rustle in the breeze. Not that many people come here. Here I am sitting on the stone fence with Ryo. She glances at me.
ともやくん。
Hmm?
呼んでみただけです。
She says bashfully. It makes me feel embarrassed as well. I can hear a lot of lively, cheerful voices from the school building. Today is the Founders Festival. It's a day that even third-year students take their minds off exams and relax. Hey, Fuji... Ryo.
Hi.
Are there any classrooms you want to visit? The first and second years are doing all sorts of things, you know?
いえ、こうして二人でいる方が好きですから。
I see. That really makes me feel embarrassed. Ryo is acting pretty bold today. It all began right after homeroom this morning.
以上が連絡事項だ。3時になったら一旦教室に戻ってくること。それまでは各自自由。今日一日は受験のことを忘れて羽を伸ばしなさい。
I am very confused. How did they manage to... wait. They're third years, so the third years are not preparing anything for the festival, while all the others are. And I was wondering just how are they having homeroom if usually if a class prepares something for the festival inside their own classroom. But since they're third years, they don't do that. Okay, that makes sense. I explained it to myself, sorry. Having covered everything he needed to, the homeroom teacher leaves the classroom. At the same time, the classroom quickly becomes very lively. As a student, this is my last time participating in a Founders Festival. On top of that, we are a third-year class and thus didn't need to hold our own class event this year. Everyone is excited.
Okazaki, お前どうする?
What do you mean?
僕はこのまま寮に戻って寝るつもりだけど。
Ah, yeah, I guess we can do
と
that.
もやくん。
Hmm?
おや。
Oh yeah.
今日は一緒に校内を回りませんか？どうしました？
Nah, something just felt off when you asked me.
そ
Her face is colored red and her eyes are cast downward. They hurriedly shift toward the wall and then to me.
ともやくん。
Snohara and I look at each other. It seems we didn't miss here, but she was still calling me by my last name just yesterday. Why the change all of a sudden?
ダメだったでしょうか？
Nah, I don't really mind, it's just a bit sudden.
すみません。勝手に呼び方変えちゃって。でもなんとなくこういう方が恋人同士っぽいかなって思って。
Right after she said that, the classroom immediately goes silent. Everyone is looking at us. I hear several people murmuring.
おい、やっぱあの二人付き合ってんのか？
昨日のあれは冗談じゃなかったんだな。
つうかマジに二股？
てか、なんか委員長の方が本命臭くね？
俺実は藤林を狙ってたのに。
They're all uttering such garbage.
やっぱり
Ay.
その迷惑ですか？
She peeks at me. When she looks at me like that, what can I say? I don't mind being called that.
本当ですか？ありがとうございます。
In contrast to just now, a bright smile appears on her face. Her face is red, but she looks very happy.
そうだ、ともやくん。
Yeah?
私のことは今から寮でいいです。
Ryo?
はい。その方がより恋人らしいですから。
If I have to use an analogy, what would this be? Like I'm being forcibly plunged into a rosy aura or something like that? Who knew Ryo Fujibayashi would be so bold?
じゃあ僕寮に戻るね。なんか邪魔っぽいし。
Using first names, so lewd, yes, very, extremely. Holding hands, oh my god. Walking back home together, holy hell. Get a room, you guys. Hey, wait.
行きましょう、ともやくん。
Wait, Fujibayashi.
寮です。
She grabs me by my arm and starts dragging me to the door. I don't think I have ever seen her do something so amusing. To think that Fujibayashi would take the initiative to do something other than fortune-telling. Once we entered the hallway, we shut the door behind us. The classroom burst into a commotion.
あの岡崎が引っ張られていったぞ。
ひょっとして尻に敷かれてる？
実はあの委員長って双子の姉が化けてんじゃねえの？
下手な出し物よか。面白いぞ。
Oh my god, those people. And then... Here we are now.
どうしました？
Nope, nothing.
もしかしてアイスクリームバニラじゃない方が良かったですか？
That's not really...
どうぞ。
Ryo says and holds out her slightly melted ice cream to me.
食べてもいいです。
Thanks. As instructed, I take a bite. The cold, sweet chocolate flavor spreads inside my mouth.
美味しいですか？
I nod.
私もバニラ食べてみたいです。
Okay. I hold out my vanilla ice cream to Ryo. Ah, indirect kiss right there. Ryo stares at the ice cream now right before her eyes and then takes a quick glance at me. Then she sticks out her tiny tongue and licks the tip of the ice cream.
甘くて美味しいです。
She says with a smile. She's so cute. Guess I got my money's worth. Is there something on my... I'm sorry.
何か
That was
ついて
her
います
line.
か？
Sorry, I'm tired, obviously. No, nothing at all.
ともやくんについてます。
I do.
動かないでください。
Ryo says and then reaches her hand out toward with an intent look. Slowly, her finger draws near my mouth. I can feel a light brushing sensation.
垂れました。
Is she gonna lick it off her finger? Ryo says with a smile as she shows me the white melted whip of ice cream on her fingertip. In the very next moment, she puts it in her mouth. There it is. Ah. Without thinking, I blurt out, causing Ryo to look at me confused. She tilts her head. Her finger is still in her mouth.
どうしたんですか？
Well... Oh god, she put the ice cream that my lips had touched right into her mouth. That's pretty much an indirect kiss. But it wasn't that long ago that she ran away in tears just for putting the same pair of chopsticks in her mouth when we had lunch together. Well, since we've already kissed, I guess she wouldn't be that shocked at an indirect kiss now. As I have been staring at her mouth, she probably figured out what I was thinking. Ryo quickly opens her eyes. However, she's not at all panicked. Rather, she looks at me and smiles.
どこから見ても恋人ですよね。
Yeah. This really befuddles me. The Ryo that I know isn't someone who would say something like this. But then she hasn't changed that much either. Hmm? I didn't notice Ryo staring at me while I was spacing out. Is something still on my face? I ask as I wipe my mouth with my fingers.
そうじゃなくて。
While she keeps speaking at my face.
今、キスしたら甘いかなって。
She asks with a blushing face. She then glances around. Wait, if she's looking around, does that mean...
ともやくん。
She lifts her chin up and pulls herself toward me. Here?
みんな校舎の方でお祭りに夢中ですから。
But somebody might see us, you know.
大丈夫ですよ。きっと。
Her body gets even closer. I can't take my eyes off her lips. Crap, I can't get away. Although my head is telling me this is not a good idea, it feels like another part of me is expecting, yearning even for it at the same time.
ともやくん。
Her eyes are closed. It's no good. I can't resist that. Perhaps it's instinct, or maybe it's because of my own desire. I close my eyes and draw my lips toward Ryo's. I can feel something soft touching me. At first it feels cold, but gradually it turns into warmth instead. It is then followed by a sweet sensation. The kiss has the aroma and taste of chocolate to it. I can faintly hear her breathing through her nose. At the same time, I can feel my heart pounding furiously. The kiss is so fervent it throws my mind into a blank, to the point that I almost forgot where I was. With our lips still overlapping, I slowly open my eyes. Ryo's face cannot get any closer to me than it is now. Well, of course, after all, we're kissing. You can't get any closer than that. Okay. I glance away from Ryo, toward a spot and not very far behind her. The moment I look there, my eyes feel as if they were going to burst. There is a single student in her uniform looking this way. Although I have seen her face for many times now, this is the first time I have ever seen such an expression. Her eyes are wide open and her body is frozen. And she looks like she might break out in tears any second. Just Japanese things, yes. Indeed. It is Kyou. She turns around and dashes away. At almost exactly the same time, Ryo's lips twitch. She slowly pulls her head back. Her face then turns red.
ともやくん、キスの時は目を閉じないとダメですよ。顔を見られてるのはちょっと恥ずかしいです。
Yeah, sorry.
誰かいましたか？
え？
なんだか周りを気にしているみたいでしたから。
Not really. Taking care not to alert Ryo, I glanced in the direction Kyou had run off. She can no longer be seen. There's nobody here. I could say nothing except that.
そうですか。
Ryo smiles.
キス、やっぱり甘かったですね。
She simply looks at me happily and innocently. Man, I feel like sinking into my seat. How is this even gonna get resolved? Like, where do you go from here? I don't know. It's such a mess. I'm very uncomfortable, but okay. Let me pull myself together. Okay. In the end, we hardly visited any of the exhibits at the festival. All we did was stay together the entire time. We just hugged each other, leaned against each other, and kissed each other. We kissed one last time when we left each other, and by then, I had already forgotten how many times we have kissed today. What came as a relief, I suppose, is that Kyou has not showed up since. Tomorrow, I have a date with Ryo. I can feel a muddy, shapeless sense of discomfort spiraling within my chest. It feels as if frosty molten metal is flowing through my veins. Like waves of heat and coldness are attacking the nerves throughout my body, intermittent yet tireless. The target of my hatred is myself. The look on Kyou's face yesterday has been buried into the back of my eyelids. Every time I close my eyes for even an instant, the image flashes in my mind. Tomoya. She saw us. she saw Fujibayashi, Ryo, and I kiss. Since the two of us are going out, it really is no big deal for us to do that. And it's not like we've done anything particularly disgraceful. Rather, that's pretty normal. We were just seen by somebody else doing it. Tomoya... Somebody saw us, that's all. And yet, Kyou's face, her expression keeps piercing through my heart, like it is digging what was once a tiny hole deeper and deeper. Along with the dull sense of pain and heat, it feels as if a heavy, heavy feeling is slowly eating my body away.
Tomoya-kun,
There we go. Eh?
どうしたんですか？ぼーっとして。
Oh, sorry.
ひょっとしてどこか体調でも悪いんですか？
Nah, I'm feeling fine. So, Fujibayashi, where were we? Ryo, where are we going to?
はい、この先に美味しいラーメン屋さんがあるん
Hey,
です。
ramen. Ramen, that doesn't sound very attractive. What?
気兼ねない感じでいいと思ったんですけど、別のお店の方がいいですか？あ、ひょっとしてラーメンが嫌いだったとか。
Nah, ramen sounds good. Rather, it's great since I love ramen. Yes, yes. There we go. Let me show you. Hey, hey. Ramen.
よかったです。味は絶対保証付きですから。
Man, ramen in Japan tastes heavenly. Absolutely heavenly. She smiles. Ryo's smile. Just as we promised the day before yesterday, we are on a date together. Though it's not like we actually picked a place to go. We are simply hanging out, spending time together and talking about random things. But even so, she says she is happy. By the way, what kind of ramen?
塩豚骨です。
Shiya-tonkotsu. Phew, that's quite a lot.
そうですね。お腹いっぱいです。
Feeling full with ramen is the best feeling of fullness ever. Do you go there often?
よくってほどではありませんけど、たまにお姉ちゃんと言ってました。
You go with Kyou?
はい。お姉ちゃん、あそこの餃子が大好きなんです。
Another delicious thing I haven't had in forever. Is it good?
ニンニクがたっぷりです。
Oh, with garlic. What are you doing to me? That does sound delicious, sorry.
でも、その、デートの時には少し遠慮したいです。
Huh? Oh, that's so.
はい。
She's probably worried about the consequences when we kiss.
あ、お姉ちゃん、あそこのラーメンにたくさん胡椒をかけるんですよ。
I mean, if you both like garlic, you're not gonna mind it, though. Like, what?
食べ終わった後、私のスープと色が違うくらいなんです。
That sounds really bad for her body.
そこまでしちゃうと、ちょっとラーメン屋さんに失礼ですよね。せっかくのスープが台無しです。
That's true.
ところで、ともやくん、これからどうしますか？
Well, do you have somewhere you want to go?
ともやくんと一緒ならどこでも。
Oh, let's go somewhere without people then.
人気の
Oh my god. The audacity. The audacity. Well, I'm a guy after all.
その
Oh
それ
my
って
god.
その
You want to go somewhere risky.
なとこですか？
She said etchy. Oh my god. What is happening? Well, it would be kind of weird if I didn't have any interest in that stuff at all, right?
あ、そうですけど。
Dude, what are you doing? It feels as if it has been a while since I last saw Ryo in such a flurry.
私、その心の準備というか。
For some reason that puts me at ease. Just kidding. It's just a joke.
冗談なんですか？
Yeah. Let's start working off our meal. Oh yeah, how about if we get our fortune told at the game arcade again? I take Ryo's hand and start walking. Expecting her to follow, I am instead stopped when my arm is fully extended. Ryo? I call out to her as she continues to stand there motionless. Yeah, that's not really a good thing to joke about. Like...
ともやくん、
What's the matter?
私、いいですよ。
Oh. Huh?
その、ともやくんが行きたいところなら、どこでも行きます。
Although her hand is trembling, she gathers her courage and speaks.
付き合っていれば、恋人同士なら、そういうの普通だと思いますから。
She says with a burning red face and not the tiniest bit of composure to spare. That is when I finally noticed that I had said something that I cannot take back. Ryo would do anything as long as I wish for it. She loves me that much. It's something that I have known for a while. That is why I have to be careful and can't just say any old thing to her. Besides, that is a line that I cannot cross yet.
ともやくん、
She grips my hand tightly, thereby showing me that she is ready. Ryo, I'm sorry, let's do it another time. She is forcing herself though, like, nah. How should I say this? I think it might still be a bit too soon for us.
でも、恋人ならおかしいことじゃないと思いますし。
Well, I'm horrible. At least you realize it. At least you're aware. I made a girl say something like that. It's because I want to treasure you. And I'm even trying to hide it with lies and trickery.
ともやくん、
However, Ryo's face broke into a smile when she heard that. It feels as if it branded me a hypocrite.
嬉しいです。そんなに真剣に考えてもらえて。
I can feel it growing. Is it my sense of guilt? Is it shame instead? The warmth that I can feel from holding her hand is hard to bear.
いきなりだったんで、まだ心の準備ができてなかったので、少しドキッとしました。
I see. I'm sorry.
いえ、驚き半分、嬉しさ半分でしたから。
Having regained some composure, Ryo returns to her usual smile. I notice that I have relaxed a little despite the circumstances. Then, unexpectedly, Ryo looks intently at me with a serious expression. What's wrong?
一つ聞きたいことがあるんです。
Something you want to ask me?
はい。
She nods, but then tucks her chin in hesitation.
こんなこと聞くのおかしいとは思うんですけど。
Several seconds passed as she hesitates.
ともやくん、私のこと好きですか？
Eh? Oh my god. I felt as if time had stopped. Do you like me? It is a simple question. As we are dating each other, you may even say this is a ridiculous question to ask. If we are lovers, then there is a simple answer to this question. And yet, why can't I give her an answer? The words, I like you, just won't come out of my throat. My own feelings begin to dawn on me. Yesterday, I was shocked when Kyou saw Ryo and I kissing, and the heart-piercing pain I can feel in my chest. I look at Ryo's face, and I see a different face instead. The obnoxious pressure inside my chest, as well as my wavering feelings, are holding me back from saying those words.
ともやくん、
That reminds me, I haven't yet told Ryo that I like her. Even though we are dating, I haven't once told her how I myself feel. But how do I actually feel? The inside of my mouth begins to dry up. My tongue is glued to the roof of my mouth, and although my lips are moving, words do not come out. The unpleasant silence continues. Even my throat begins to dry up as if it is refusing to give voice to any words. Given the atmosphere, it feels as if I am even hesitating to sigh. I can't look her straight in the eye.
すみません。 ルですよね。
Suddenly, Ryo lowers her head.
その恥ずかしいですよね。そんなことを言うのは。自分でも言うの恥ずかしいのに、それを人に言わせようとするなんて。すみませんでした。
Ryo apologizes with what appears to be a forced smile. Perhaps she mistook me looking away to mean that I felt embarrassed. I permit myself to come up with a convenient interpretation. It only serves to reinforce how pathetic I feel. This kind of thing needs to just be cut out at the root. It's difficult, it hurts, but just come clean about it. It like helps nobody in the situation to just perpetuate it. I loathe myself to the point that it is pitiful. Even so, I cannot stop thinking of the girl who has the same face. The same face that was yesterday on the verge of tears. I just cannot erase that image from the inside of my eyelids.
そろそろ行きませんか？私、またゲームセンターでホロスコープがしたいです。
Yeah, sure. I nod with a smile. I do so as if I am obligated to. As though I am forcing myself to go along with it. We start walking. Our hands are held together, swaying slightly back and forth. This week, it seems the two of you will have a quarrel over something minor. Confusion will lead to anxiety, and anxiety will lead to confusion. You should pay attention to and not lose sight of your own opinions, and at the same time make an effort to consider your partner's circumstances. If you make an effort to understand each other, your relationship will definitely strengthen. Remember, a watched pot never boils. Your lucky items are silver jewelry and gemstones. Your lucky color is red. It must be my imagination. The results of this horoscope machine have been getting progressively worse every time we try it. I take a peek at Ryo.
なんとも言えない結果ですね。
That's the whole point. If they're ambiguous, then you can apply them to anything in your life, hence, the horoscope was right, or something. Yeah, well, it's just a game. Even though I know it's hardly trustworthy, these results don't leave me with a good feeling.
ゲームでも占いは占いですよ。
But compared to actual fortunes told by people, doesn't it feel kind of hollow, or lacking a human touch? Everything it said was obviously pre-programmed.
それはそうなんですけど、それでも占いですから。
She says with a smile.
占いの目的は未来に対するきっかけです。この言葉をどう受け止めるかは私たち次第ですよ。
Well, I guess you're right. Motivation for the future, huh? If that's the case, how should I interpret this fortune? Confusion will lead to anxiety, and anxiety will lead to confusion. To me, my confusion, my anxiety... Kyou... In the end, despite having spent the whole day with Ryo, I can't take my mind off Kyou. What makes it worse is I kept on envisioning her on the verge of tears instead of her smiling. Even so, I tried my best to keep smiling in front of Ryo. This is so hypocritical, I think, and the feeling of self-loathing sets in once more. When the time comes for us to part ways, we kiss at the corner of the empty street. I go with the flow as if it is natural to do so. When Ryo waits for me with her eyes closed, I pause for a moment. This is so cruel. Yes, then stop it! Her face is far too similar to Kyou's. As our faces grow closer and closer, the length of her hair becomes obscured. By the time our lips were touching, I no longer know if this is Ryo or Kyou. That is so disrespectful to both of them. Despite everything, it is Kyou who is on my mind. When I feel her warmth in my lips, it was Kyou who I think of instead of Ryo. My lips trembled slightly. I stick my tongue out a little, hitting her teeth. Okay. Having caught her by surprise, her shoulders shudder slightly. However, she does not resist. Okay. I'm not particularly comfortable with these details, but okay. Moving on. Kyou. Her name echoes within my mind. Slowly the warmth dissipates. I open my eyes and find the blushing Ryo looking embarrassed, but also happy. I take a step backward and stare at her face. Despite everything, I am sure I am smiling right now. However, it must be a hollow facade I am putting up so as not to make Ryo feel uneasy. Ryo bows lightly and starts walking home. As she gets farther and farther away, she repeatedly turns back to look at me. Until she disappears from my view, I keep waving back at her. And when I am finally by myself, I pound on a nearby wall with my fist. I'm the worst. The sharp pain that I feel remains not in my fist, but instead in my heart. The bell rings, signaling the beginning of lunchtime.
Tomoya-kun.
Before I could even stand up, Ryo has already walked up to my desk. Hey, what's up?
お昼ご飯一緒に食べましょう。
Yeah, I don't mind, but I need to buy bread at the
大
cafeteria.
丈夫です。
She smiles and places something on my desk. A lunchbox wrapped in a napkin makes a soft knocking sound as it lands on my desk.
お弁当作ってきました。
Eh?
今日のは一人で作ったんです。
Upon hearing that, I stare at the object on my desk. Ryo made the lunchbox. Since she said she made it by herself, it must mean Kyou did not help out, unlike last time, right? In other words...
お庭で食べませんか？
uh,
行きましょう。
Before I could answer, she starts dragging me away by my hand. We leave the classroom as all our classmates stare on. I wonder if I will be able to come back here in one piece once lunch is over. Still being dragged by my hand, I walk down the hallway step by step. It almost feels like I am on a death march. It's as though a cruel, inescapable fate is beckoning me to walk toward it. Suddenly, I feel something odd about the hand that's holding mine. Although Ryo's hand should feel tender and warm, there are areas that feel cold and inorganic. Ryo?
はい。
What's wrong with your hand?
これはその
On her previously slender, beautiful hand are several band-aids. At the very least, they weren't there yesterday. She cut herself making the lunchbox.
私飲み物買ってきますね。これ持って先に行って待っててください。
Hey! Ryo presses the lunchbox against my chest and starts running toward the cafeteria. I stare at the lunchbox that she forced on me. In any case, I suppose I will head to the front yard first. Guess around here will do. I sit down at a suitable spot near the stone fence and put the lunchbox down. Looking at the flower-patterned napkin-wrapped lunchbox, I stroke my stomach. Guess I better prepare myself. I apologize to my stomach and wait for you. Was it just movement in the bushes? Is it Botan?
ブヒ
Buhi! Botan?
ブヒ
Hey, long time no see. You here to see Kyou again?
ブヒ
You hungry?
ブヒ
I wouldn't try it though. You'd end up in another coma.
ブヒ
Well, damn, I don't have anything to eat on me. I then hear the sounds of someone walking on the grass.
What?
I look up and find her standing there. In an instant, my heart starts beating much faster.
Yeah.
Kyou says and raises her hand with her nonchalant, usual smile. Yo. Buhi, yes. But that is adorable. And that's why I try to reply normally as well.
今からご飯でしょ。
Yeah.
量は
She's off getting us drinks.
そうなんだ。
Kyou nods and notices the lunchbox sitting next to me.
あ、それ。
This? Seems Ryo made it.
朝からすごかったわよ。
I see.
かなり頑張ってたんだからね。だからちゃんと残さずに食べなさいよ。
Yes, I'll be at the nurse's office another noon.
そう
Sorry,
なったと
afternoon.
しても全部食べなさい。彼氏なんだから。
Suddenly, pain spikes my body. Indeed, I can feel it in my heart. It feels as though my heart is a mess of needles piercing my chest from the inside
ブ
out.
ヒブヒヒ。あれボタン。なんでまた学校に来てんの？
Seems like he's hungry.
あ、そうなんだ。
ブヒ
しょうがないわね。食堂でパンでも買いに行くかな。
ブヒ
ほらおいで。
Botan's short legs leap off the ground. He jumps into Kyou's chest.
じゃあね。
Yeah. Holding onto Botan, Kyou starts walking back toward the school building. At the same time, Ryo is running toward me from the same direction. In her hands are several drink bags. The two of them walk past each other. Something feels odd. They pass each other without so much as acknowledging the other's existence. Even though they get along so well, they didn't so much as wave to each other as they walked past each other.
お待たせしました。麦茶でよかったでしょうか。
Ryo asks, having finally returned. Yeah, thanks.
いえ、どういたしまして。どうかしましたか？
Are you two having a fight?
喧嘩？誰と誰がですか？
You and Kyo.
いえ、してませんよ。
Though you say that, it didn't seem like you two even looked at each other just now.
あ、さっきのですか？だってお姉ちゃんボタン抱いてましたから、変に立ち止まっちゃうと怯えられてしまいますし。
This feels strangely hard to accept.
それよりお弁当食べましょう。
Yeah. Ryo sits down on the stone fence as she opens the lunchbox.
どうぞ。
She hands one of the lunchboxes to me. Instead of the lunchbox, my attention is focused elsewhere. The fingers that are gripping the lunchbox have several band-aids on them. What happened to your fingers?
これはその
Although she probably wants to hide her hands behind her, she cannot do so because she's holding the lunchbox. She timidly looks at me as her hands and the lunchbox in its tremble. Did you hurt yourself while you were making this? She did. She looks down as her face reddens. Looks like I guessed correctly.
でも今日のはちゃんと美味しくできていると思うんです。指はちょっとすごいことになっていますけど、味見とかはちゃんとしましたし。
I pick up a tamagoyaki from the lunchbox with my fingers and put it in my mouth.
ともやくん。
It's good. Hand me the lunchbox.
はい。
Chopsticks too.
どうぞ。
Thanks. What's the matter? Not going to eat? I don't think you really need to, but if you're on a diet, I'll take the other one too. The food is really good. It'd be a waste to not eat it. This isn't flattery, it's actually good. Even though she used to be bad at cooking, it turned out so delicious. I wonder how much work she put into it. She put so much work into this lunchbox that her fingers are ragged. Without a doubt, this lunchbox was made just for me. There is no way it wouldn't be delicious.
よかったです。美味しいって言ってもらえて嬉しいです。
Yeah, it's seriously very good.
よかったら私の分も食べてください。
I'll really eat it, you know.
はい。
Ryo nods happily with a smile. By the way, remember when they were having the lunch and they kept describing the contents and like I got really hung up on the tamagoyaki and the next day in the morning I made myself some tamagoyaki. It turned out really nice. A little bit salty because I kind of dripped a bit too much soy sauce into it because I haven't done it in a while, so the proportions of the ingredients were kind of a bit off, but I don't mind it. I like salty and it was nice. Nice. Yeah. So, the bell has rung, ending lunchtime. Side by side, Ryo and I are walking back to the classroom.
藤林さん。はい。
Unexpectedly, somebody calls out to her. It is somebody from a different
こ
class.
れ、きょうちゃんに渡しといてくれないかな。
Ah, there you are.
辞書ですか？
うん。借りたまま返しそびれちゃって。
でもそういうのは自分で返した方がいいと思うんですけど。
そうしたいんだけど、きょうちゃん早退しちゃってて。
そうなんですか？
明日の予習とかするのにこれ必要だと思うから、なんとか今日中に返しておきたくて。
そうですか。わかりました。そういうことでしたら私の方からお姉ちゃんに渡しておきます。
うん、お願いね。
The female student hands Ryo the dictionary and returns to her own classroom. Seems like she's a classmate of Kyo's. Kyo left early today?
どうしたんでしょうか。体調でも崩し
I'll
た
learn
の
how
で
to
しょう
cook
か。
only after I meet my Tomoya. That's fair. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. She seemed pretty energetic to me during lunch. Perhaps she's taking Botan home.
どうでしょうか。
The two of us look at the dictionary and tilt our heads in bewilderment. Then during the afternoon classes, of course having eaten 2 full lunchboxes, my stomach is stuffed. Unable to withstand the drowsiness, I lose consciousness around the same time as class resumes. But, though I have been lying down on my desk, I suddenly jolt awake for some reason. I take a look around me to make sure nobody has noticed how stupid I look. It doesn't seem like anyone is looking this way in particular. My mind relaxes a little and I prop my head on my hand. Looking outside, dark clouds have covered the sky. It feels rather gloomy, as though it will start to rain any second. This is annoying, I think to myself. Hey. Just as that thought crosses my mind, a particular noise is picked up by my ears. Soon thereafter, it is followed by the smell of water. It's raining. I sigh as raindrops drip down the window. I didn't bring an umbrella. Aggravated by the raindrops falling from the sky, I glare at them. There is something moving by the school gate. Not yet fully awake, I focus my attention on it. It's a round lump. It's short and stout and has vertical stripes on it. Botan? Over at the school gate under the falling rain is the familiar baby boar. Is he waiting for Kyou? Nah, they were together during lunch break. Under the falling rain, Botan looks up at my direction, almost as if he knows that I am here. He's staring this way. Gradually, I come to my senses. At the same time, uneasiness begins to take hold of my mind. Didn't Kyou leave early for today? If that's the case, she would probably have brought Botan back with her. There's no way she would leave Botan by himself. Of course, I cannot imagine Botan leaving Kyou's side either. Even so, Botan is right there. In that case, where is Kyou? Without stopping to think, I stand up from my seat. Everyone in class turns their attention toward me. I need to head to the bathroom. I'm sorry. I quickly walk toward the door. On my way there, I walk past Ryo's seat. Seeing how she looks worried, I lift my palm up to signal everything's okay. I have no idea if she actually understood it, but I continue to walk out of the classroom. I then run down the hallway. After I change my shoes, I head for the school gate. Botan comes running toward me. Botan, what happened to Kyou? Is she not with you? I mean, it's not like he can answer you. He's only gonna say Puhi. Didn't you two go home? It's an emergency, go with him, man. I can't understand you when all you say is Puhi. I mean, of course. Botan bites onto one of my trousers legs and starts attempting to pull me away with all his might. Is he telling me to follow him? Duh! Go with him! Lead the way. I don't know if he actually understood what I meant, but Botan lets go of my trousers and starts running outside the school gate. Without turning back, he dashes away on the rain-drenched ground. And I follow him. Paying no attention to the puddles and mud we step through, we keep running under the falling rain. Kyou is ahead of us. I feel hope and anxiety, confidence and doubt, as well as uneasiness. Holding these emotions at bay, I keep running. By the time we reach our destination, my body has already been completely drenched from head to toe. At an empty patch of land overgrown with greenery, amidst an atmosphere made even heavier by the falling rain, there she stands, as if she is waiting for someone, as if she is refusing to meet someone. Oh, my heart. Kyo. The sound of raindrops beating on the ground fills the silence. Trying to get closer, I take a step forward. A quiet rustling noise blends into the sound of the
来
downpour.
ないで。それ以上近づかないで。お願いだから。
I have no choice but to stop, even though the sound of the rain easily drowns out her quiet voice. For some reason, her voice resonates clearly in my head, as if it had pierced my heart. My drenched uniform sticks to my body and slowly drains away in warmth. The rain drips down my back, causing me to shudder due to the coldness. I guess Kyou is probably feeling it too. Even though spring has arrived, it is still May, and the chill is harder to bear when you are soaked. We have to at least get out of the rain. I start to walk forward once again. However, the moment before I am about to, Kyou starts to speak.
どうしてここに来たの？まだ学校終わってないでしょ。
I saw Botan from my classroom. I heard you left early, so I thought it's strange.
別に気にしなくていいのに。
Don't be
言っ
absurd.
たでしょ。あんたは彼女の寮のことだけを考えてればいいって。私のことなんてほっとけばいいのに。
Like hell I can.
ほっとかなきゃダメなのよ。
Suddenly her tone turns rough.
私はあの子の姉なのよ。双子の姉なの。あんたが絶対気にしちゃいけない相手なのよ。当然私もあんたは絶対に気にしちゃいけない相手なの。分かってるつもりだったのに。
She grabs her arm as if to hold everything in. From how her fingers turned pale and the drops of rainwater seeping out of her clothes, I can tell how hard she is gripping. Seeing that, I find myself at a loss of words.
あんたたち
The
の仲が
forbidden
良くな
love,
ってくの。
yeah.
見てるのが辛いの。
What should I say? What should I do?
恋人になってく二人のそばにいるのが辛いのよ。
It feels like I'm being tied down.
私って嫌な女よね。自分で付き合えとか言ってたのに。
All I can do is to look at Kyo being beaten by the falling rain.
りょうがね、あんたとキスしたこと教えてくれたの。お姉ちゃんありがとうって言いながら嬉しそうにさ。最初は笑って聞いてた。よかったねってりょうに言ってあげられた。でも自分の部屋に戻ったら急に胸が苦しくなって痛くなって。
Her shoulder and the hand she's gripping her arm with are trembling.
おとといさ、学校であんたたちのこと見ちゃって。
I can feel a spike of pain in my chest. For a moment I forgot about the rain beating down on my body. My mind, my body, and my heart, everything has gone blank.
そうだよね。別におかしいことじゃないもんね。付き合ってるんだもん。そういうことして当たり前よね。あれが初めてってわけでもないしさ。
She grips her arm even
で
tighter.
も気がついたら涙が出てた。止まらなくって。何度も自分に言い聞かせてもそれでも
Polygamy
止
for
ま
the
らなくって。
win.
もうあんたたちのこと普通に見てられなくって。今日の昼休みもまたあそこで一昨日みたいなことするのかなって。
She solemnly says as if she's spitting out the words from the bitterness that had built up within her.
そんなこと考えてたら学校にいられなくなった。遅かったのよ。気づくのもごまかすのも。
It's too late. I wonder who that actually applies to. I wonder if it is just Kyo. These past few days, the oddness and anxiety that I felt when I was with Ryo, and my hesitation.
怖かった。告白するのが怖かった。私は告白して振られたらもう友達としても話できないんじゃないかって。あんたのそばにいれなくなるかもって考えちゃって。 それならずっと友達のままでいようと。その方が傷つかずに済むって、そう思ったから。だから自分の気持ちを押し込めて後悔して。バカよね。自分で決めたことなのに、自分で選んだことなのに、後悔しかしてない。
There is a sorrowful smile on her face, one that betrays a feeling that she despises herself, forcibly deepening what was once a small wound. I feel that something important to me is starting to break. At first it is a small crack, then gradually its surface starts to crumble. On the other side of that surface is a pitch-black darkness, like a bottomless well. Within it, sadness and regret stir, threatening to drown me if I fall in.
私はね、すごくずるいの。あんたと亮をくっつけようとしながら、口では亮に頑張れって言っときながら、本当はうまくいってほしくないって、振られてくれたらいいのにって、心の中じゃそんなこと考えてたの。
That's wrong. Who's the cruel person here? Who did I see via Ryo?
私、自分が嫌い。世話を焼いているふりをして、自分のことしか考えてない。自分が傷つきたくないくせに、人が傷つくことを望んで、そんな自分が嫌いなの。
Time continues to flow. Even though I should have noticed, I pretended to not have noticed and continued to hurt her. The person who is the most cruel here is Kyou. I wonder if what I'm doing is wrong. I wonder if what I'm doing deserves derision. It's just, rather than thinking about it, rather than expressing it with words, this is the best way to express what is on my mind. Even if that in and of itself is betraying Ryo. If I do not do anything right now, I would only come to regret it. I can no longer suppress my own feelings.
どうして？あんた、何してるか分かってるの？
You understand very well what I am doing to you, don't you? The many raindrops falling from the sky seep through our clothes and drench our body. My body is getting cold. I feel a sense of coldness every time drops of water drip down my back. It feels as if a hand made of ice is taking hold of my heart. But I can doubtlessly feel warmth through my arms. Slowly that gentle, soothing warmth displaces the cold. I feel a huge sense of existence and relief in my chest as it inflates and deflates to my breaths. Yeah, right now we are so close to each other.
頑張って忘れようって決めたのに。なのに、あんたは私に優しくする。残酷よね。いっそ冷たく突き放してくれればよかったのに。
She tightens her grip on my
知
arm.
りたくなかった。こんなぬくもり。知らなければ。
She is neither resisting nor embracing it. All she is doing is gripping onto my arm while enduring the
ご
situation.
めんなさい。
え？
ごめんなさい。私、あんたのことが好き。だから、もう私に優しくしないで。私、バカだからさ、優しくされると勘違いしちゃう。これ以上、優しくされちゃう。もう耐えらんなくなるよ。
I like...
友也。
Before I could finish my sentence, Kyou interrupts with a quiet but sharp voice. Stopped before I could get the last word out, I keep looking at Kyou.
友也、私は藤林京よ。藤林亮じゃないの。
When I heard that name, I felt something running through my body. It feels as though I've fallen onto the ground from up high in the sky. It's a painful and hot feeling, as though the blood inside me is boiling, and yet at the same time, it feels cold. Slowly my arms lose their strength, and the warmth fades away. I never knew that rain could feel this cold. It's not just my body, my heart too. Each cold drop feels as if it will freeze my entire body. Still facing away from me, Kyou loses her eyes for a moment. Oh, sorry, closes her eyes. How would she lose her eyes? Kyou closes her eyes for a moment. Then just like that, she says softly with a smile,
Bye bye.
I can't say anything, even though I have a lot to say. The words just won't come out. All of them are stuck in my throat. Even though my whole body is drenched by the rain, my throat is completely dry. My legs won't move as if they have been frozen to the ground. All I can do now is to stare at the person that's growing farther and farther away from me. Botan glances between Kyou and me with a puzzled look, and after a while he starts to dash away after Kyou. Just as she leaves my view, Kyou, I finally managed to say one word. Just as the sound of the rain painfully echoes in my ear. My uniform is soaked with rainwater. It feels heavy and gives off the illusion that I am a criminal chained by shackles. I return to school in order to retrieve the bag I had left behind. As classes have already ended, there are not that many students left in school. Though to begin with, I really don't want anyone to see me when I am so drenched. Leaving behind a trail of water in the hallway, I enter the classroom. Yo, it's the person that I don't want to meet the most right now. No, I bet she has been waiting for me here. I can't look straight at her face. Now that I know how I truly feel, it's painful to look at Ryo face to face. Without saying a thing, Ryo starts walking toward me. Stop. Don't get any closer. Right now, I can't say a thing. I bet if I say anything, it'll just hurt you. She hugs me. With the wet clothes pressed against my body, I feel shivers running through my body. However, not long after that, I start feeling the warmth of her body. Ryo's warmth is enveloping my cold body. Stop it. Still hugging me, she shakes her head. You'll get wet. She shakes her head. I don't deserve this. That's what I want to say, but I cannot bring myself to say it. Something warm presses against my lips. It takes me a while to realize that it is Kyou's lips. Sorry, Ryo's lips. Ah, there it is. Now I'm confused. No, it's Ryo. The action causes my heart to ache. I try to look away, but before I can, Ryo takes her lips away from me. Ryo. Hearing that hurts my heart. It's yes. I mean, it couldn't get happy, right? It has to get sad before it gets better. And he has to freaking just like talk and say things. Cause just, you know, putting them aside and persisting in this situation is not gonna end up well for anybody. I mean, I guess I am an adult. I am 31 years old. I've been through stuff in life, so if I ever found myself in a situation like this, I would know to speak up. But for someone who is just, you know, a teenager, just barely realizing how they feel and just finding themselves in a complicated situation, it's not the easiest thing to do, so I understand. I'm not saying I'm not empathizing with him. All I'm saying is that he should. He should, like, speak up. But, well, let's see if he gets to that point as well. Yeah, I can't say a word. When she says all these gentle, warm words, I cannot bring myself to say anything. In the end, I did nothing. Even though she is hugging me, I do not even hug her back. I think you had an interesting bad end here if you haven't kissed Ryo that first time you had the chance. Oh, really? Oh no. I did though, but oh my god. I don't want the bad end. Check it out later? Okay, I will Google it. But I didn't know there were bad ends. Are there bad ends in Clannad? I just thought that if you like make certain decisions, you get onto the root of the character, and then the root is set in stone. But okay, I will search for that. That was gonna be interesting. Although I don't know, I feel like it's gonna break my heart. Even though she is hugging me, I do not even hug her back. I can only feel the throbbing pain that accompanies each beat of my heart. And the tears in my eyes feel like they might escape at any time. I wonder just how much Ryo knows. I have a feeling she knows everything. If she's giving me all this warmth even though she knows, then I am seriously horrible. Sleeping is no comfort to me right now. It just makes me feel even more listless. My head is weighed down by an extraordinary heavy feeling, one that has sunk deep through my pillow. I get up. That only made me feel even more exhausted. I take a look at the clock and find that it is already past 11. On the usual road, there is not a single person wearing the uniform that I have seen before so many times. Well, of course I wouldn't. I am about the only one who would start going to school this late. To be honest, I really don't want to go to school. Then why? Why am I walking down this path? What am I expecting? That's right, when I am late and walking this road, usually behind me there it is, vroom vroom. I turn back to face the familiar noise. There are lots of bad ends, but most of them aren't worth getting. Okay, I was not aware of that. I will check it out. A black scooter breezes right past me. Of course, it isn't Kyou driving it. Huh. Instinctively, I shrug and chuckle. Just what was I expecting? I press my fist against my chest to bring my beating heart under control and sigh. Guess it really took a toll on me. By the time I arrive at school, morning classes have already ended. There are students who are taking their store-bought bread back to their classrooms, as well as students who are chatting in the hallway. The entire campus is full of life. It's lunchtime right now. With my bag still in my hand, I walk down the hallway. It feels really inappropriate to look like this late. You can tell right away that I am either leaving early or have just arrived. Then again, since I'm walking towards the classrooms, I guess it's not hard to tell I got here late. If I go to the classroom, Ryo should be there. I honestly don't want to see her right now. I have no idea just how I'll react when I see her. I sigh as I look outside the window. The front yard enters my field of vision. Just yesterday, Ryo and I had lunch there. I see two familiar silhouettes over at the stone fence. A girl with long hair and a girl with short hair are sitting next to each other side by side. It's Kyou and Ryo, two faces that make my heart ache. What are they talking about? Since they are right next to each other, I cannot imagine them not talking to each other at all. Suddenly, I recall everything that occurred yesterday. When I hugged Kyou in the rain yesterday, when Ryo hugged me even though I was drenched, and how much it hurt when I finally knew how we all truly felt. Having stood there while looking down into the front yard for a while, I noticed movement in my line of sight. They're waving at me? Kyou is facing this way and waving at me. Seeming to follow her sister's lead, Ryo is waving too. Then Kyou beckons me over. I suppose there's no getting out of this one. I leave my bag in the classroom and immediately head back into the hallway. I then take the stairs to the first floor.
Yeah, 遅刻ま。
Kyou?
亮が悲しんでたわよ。せっかくお弁当作ってきたのに、智也が来ないって。
Yeah, I kind of overslept.
私がもらっちゃおうかと思ったんだけど、それもなんか虚しいしさ。やっぱ彼氏のために作ったお弁当を他の人が食べるってのはダメダメよね。あの子まだお昼ご飯食べてないからね。
Is that so?
私があんたが遅刻するときは 大抵昼には来るって言ったら待ってみるって。
And what if I didn't come at all?
そうね。動かなくなるまであんたをこれで殴ったかな。
I have no idea where she got it from, but she's suddenly holding a kanji dictionary in her hand.
私の大事な妹に不必要なダイエットをさせるなんて許せないし。
She looks at me with a giddy and carefree smile. Why is she so cheerful? There is not a single trace of the feeble Kyou from yesterday. Kyou is her usual self, from back before the rumors started spreading.
んじゃ、そういうことだからさっさと中庭に行きなさい。亮が待ってるわよ。
She lightly taps my shoulder and walks past me. The moment her hand leaves my shoulder, I feel as if warmth is slipping away from me. Kyou. Instinctively, I turn back. And still facing away, Kyou stops. I have no idea what to say, and I have no idea what to do either. I had called out to stop her, driven by an impulse other than my own will. For a few short seconds, we were silent. Kyou lowers her head a little. Then she turns to face me.
何？
With a normal smile. Yeah, I can't say a word. When she looks at me like this, I can't bring myself to say anything.
用がないなら私行くわよ。
Yeah, sorry.
んで、あんたはさっさと中庭に行く。これ以上量を待たすんだったらピアノ線使った首バンジーで窓からショートカットさせるわよ。
Oh my god, that's incredibly detailed. What? She says with a smile.
ほら、お弁当食べてる時間がなくなっちゃう前に早く行った。
I wonder how she can continue to smile. Has she already gotten over all that had happened yesterday? But if that's the case, how did she do so? And since Kyou is smiling, does that also mean I have to smile? I mean, she's obviously not past things, but she's trying her best. Hey.
遅刻ですよ。
Ryo also greets me with a smile. In the end, she did not ask me what had happened yesterday. She just kept on hugging my drenched body. She quietly kept hugging me as if to warm my cold body up.
寝坊ですか？
Yeah, something like that.
そうですか。病気とかじゃなくてよかったです。
On her face is the same usual smile.
ところで、お昼ご飯はもう食べましたか？
Nah, I came here right after I woke up.
じゃあ、まだなんですね。
Yeah.
よかったです。お弁当、持って帰らなくて済みました。
You made me another one today, I see.
はい。彼女としてできることがしたいですから。
I see. That causes my heart to ache.
ともやくん、いつもパンばかりです。だから、お弁当の方が栄養が偏らなくていいと思うんです。というわけで、野菜もたくさん入れてます。
Veggies are awesome.
本当に嫌いなものとか食べられないものは無理しなくてもいいですけど、そうじゃなければ残さないでくださいね。
Just how come these two can continue to smile in front of me? It's almost as if nothing had happened these past few days. Like I am the only one who's suffering.
ともやくん、どうしたんですか？
え？
さっきからじっとお弁当箱を見つめたまま。もしかして嫌いなものありましたか？
Nah, not really. I was just thinking that it looks so delicious. To tell the truth, the rate at which you've been improving is quite out of the
と
ordinary.
もやくん、それあまり褒められている気がしないです。
Really? I am praising you though.
本当ですか？
You think I am lying?
いいえ、ありがとうございます。
Okay, I'll dig in now. Lunch period approaches its second half, and slightly later than usual we start to eat our lunch. This pork cutlet. I stop it just front of my mouth because of its aroma.
それは
Soy sauce? It's that pork cutlet that Kyou said is her original recipe, but it has a slightly different taste than usual.
それはまだ試しに作ってみただけなので、味見はしたんですけど、ちょっとやっぱり上手にできなくて。 でも多分食べれないってことはないと思います。お姉ちゃんのとはその味が違いますけど。
It's good.
本当ですか？
Yeah, it's not as flavorful as Kyou's, but it's good.
よかったです。
She says, relieved. We peck away at the lunchbox as we exchange mundane chatter. During that, though my mouth is moving, the murky feeling inside my chest leaves me unable to digest any of the food. What I saw from the window earlier, the two I normally wouldn't give a second thought about. Should I ask her? Or should I keep quiet about it? Hey,
Hi.
Ryo. Kyo was here just now, wasn't she?
はい、いましたよ。
What were you two talking about? You two looked like you were talking before I got here. I was thinking perhaps I interrupted something.
別に邪魔なんかじゃないですよ。ともやくんが来るまでお姉ちゃんが話し相手になってくれてただけですから。
About what?
ともやくんのことです。
About me? When she said that, my heart skipped a beat. I think a little, and recall what happened yesterday. I hugged Kyo, and Ryo hugged me. Given how those things happened, I am honestly frightened by the thought that they talked about me. But I see.
はい。
What about me? If I keep worrying without asking her, it would feel like I am running away.
知りたいですか？
Well, yeah, you two were talking about me, so of course I would be interested, right?
それもそうですよね。でも内緒です。
It's a secret.
はい。乙女の秘密ですから。
Ryo says and looks at me with a carefree smile. When she looks at me like that, I cannot ask her anymore.
それより早く食べてしまわないと。あ、
The bell rings. There is about 40% of the lunchbox left. It's okay, that's the first bell. I take hold of my chopsticks once again and begin to shovel its contents into my mouth. It's lunch break right now. I am staring up at the sky with the lunchbox in one hand and chopsticks in another. Next to me, as always, is Ryo. And a crowd of people. I glance off to the side. The backs of a crowd of female students are blocking Ryo from my view. All I can hear is their voices. Next to them, I'm eating my lunchbox alone. It's a lunchbox that Ryo made me.
晴れの日に下駄箱で待ち伏せをして告白すると成功しますので頑張ってください。そっか、そうなんだ。
Telling fortunes.
ありがとう、藤林さん。よかったね、ゆきちゃん。うん。雨の日が待ち遠しい。
How does that relate to absolutely anything? Anyway, occasionally I catch a glimpse of Ryo's face through a gap in the wall of girls. For some reason, our eyes meet every single time. And her eyes always say, I'm sorry. I keep working on my lunchbox. I missed my chance to run away. I honestly believe that.
りょうちゃん、今度私の占って。はい。何を占いましょうか。実は耳貸して。はい。それは大変です。だからお願い、占って。はい、そういうことでしたら頑張ります。
I wonder what it's about. It really piques my interest. I can hear her skillfully shuffling the tarot cards.
始まりと新しい道、一方的、停滞、どうかな。あ、これまで探し続けてきた場所、そこから一旦離れてみてください。そうすれば思いがけない場所から出てくるはずです。これまで探してたところ。そっか、あの辺をもっと重点的に調べるのね。ありがとう、りょうちゃん。
The conversation I overhear feels strangely incoherent.
ねえ、岡崎くん。
Several of the girls who had gathered around Ryo walk up to me. Hmm?
そのお弁当って藤林さんが作ってきたやつよね。
Hmm? Yeah.
ってことは本当なんだ。
What do you mean?
岡崎くんって藤林さんと付き合っているんでしょ。
Yeah, I guess.
ほらほら、やっぱり
Yeah, I guess is Tomoya's catchphrase.
噂だけじゃなかったんだ。
Next to me, the girls are getting
で
excited.
もちょっと意外。うんうん。でも岡崎くんって結構いい人だよね。うん、言えてる。
A nice guy. Me.
だってこんな状態なのにちゃんと彼女のそばにいるんだもん。
She says and looks next to us. There, the wall of female students has not bulged a bit. There are girls queuing up for Ryo's fortune telling as spectators watch
私
on.
だったらどっか行っちゃってるよきっと。
Well, actually, I really want to
あ
leave.
のさ、一つ聞いていい？
What is it?
どっちから言い出したの？
What do you mean?
付き合ってくれってセリフ。すみません。困りますよね。いきなりこんなこと言われても。迷惑だって分かっているんですけど、でも言わずにいると苦しくって胸が締め付けられるみたいで、昨日頑張るって決めたから、だから岡崎くん、私と付き合ってください。そんなの岡崎くんからに決まってるじゃない。さすがにりょうちゃんじゃ言えないって言っちゃう前に顔真っ赤にして倒れちゃうわよ。
I'm pretty sure she was about to, but she endured. She hung in there. Good for her.
そうでしょ岡崎くん。
Not exactly.
それってつまり？
She's a lot bolder than everyone takes her for, you know?
じゃあその何言い出したのって藤林さんの方からなの？うっそ、藤林さんすっごい。ああ、ともやく何を言ってるんですか？
Suddenly, Ryo breaks through the wall of people toward me. Her face is very red. It seems she overheard our conversation. However, before she could reach me, the other girls have already grabbed her by both her arms.
何ですか？もう藤林さんってばおとなしい顔してやる。
Oh my god. Because asking someone out is so savage, right? Like...
そういえばこの頃随分と積極的になってきてるもんね。別にそんなことは。まあまあいいからこっちに来なさいって。その時の詳細を聞かせてもらおうじゃないの。じっくりついでにどこまで行ってるのかもね。ともやくん。
Ryo gets dragged away. I see her off with a wave of my hand. Indeed, in the eyes of the people who know Ryo, it is hard to imagine that she would confess to someone up until now. As a matter of fact, it did take her quite a bit of time to get those words out. Her face was so red it made me wonder if she would faint. Then I answered,
好きなの？
え？
いや、だからね。付き合ってるってことは、藤林涼のこと好きなの？
What Snohara told me back then. The question that I did not answer. Even now, I still do not have the answer. No, that's wrong. I already have my answer. It's just...
ほらほら、なんて岡崎くんに告っちゃったの？キスは？もうしたの？デートってどこに行った？ともやくん、助けてください。
It seems that fortune telling is being put on hold. The girl's attention has moved from the fortune telling to Ryo. She's being pounded with questions by the people around her. If we just look at the wall of girls that has been built around Ryo, then it doesn't look like anything has changed. Through the gaps of the crowd of people, she seeks for my help with a troubled look. But it also looks as if she's somewhat happy. Now that people around her are talking about it, perhaps it's starting to feel real to her. That Ryo and I are lovers. Despite that, I betrayed her. Is it possible to push someone away once you accepted them? Is it okay for me to say something that would turn that smiling face into a crying one? The sense of comfort and tranquility that I feel when I am together with Ryo, and the happiness that I feel when I am needed by someone. All of it is real. And it's also true that I once considered letting this continue forever. But right now,
ねえねえ、二人のこれからの相性ってどうなの？
相性ですか？
占いで調べてみたら？あ、そっか。
タロットはあまり自分のことを占うのは
ダメなの？
そういうわけではないですけど。
あ、それじゃあ方向を変えてみたら？
方向？
そう、藤林さん占うんじゃなくて。
she looks in my direction. And following her lead, the other girls also turned their heads to me. Eh? Me? The atmosphere feels awkwardly pressurizing. The girls form something like a circle around Ryo and me, like an inescapable cage. I suppose with how it looks, you can even take it to mean they're bullying us.
それでは始めます。
Yeah. Ryo is telling my love fortune with her tarot cards. Consequently, it's also a love fortune that concerns Ryo. She shuffles her tarot deck. Everyone in attendance gulps and looks on.
あれ？何集まってんの？
Sorry, I should not read scatter. She dropped the cards probably. The sudden voice startles Ryo, and the cards all fall to the ground.
ああ、智也に亮？きょうちゃん、いいとこに来た。今ちょうどね、あなたの妹と岡崎くんの運勢占ってるとこなのよ。へえ、そうなんだ。
Why did she come here now of all times?
や、智也。
Ah, okay, well, excuse me. I will keep that in mind.
どんな感じ？いい結果出てる？
In Romanian, we pronounce the final T. God, jeez. Go away. We do not want that.
じゃあ見せてもらおう。
Kyou says nonchalantly and stands next to me to look at Ryo. Once she has finished picking up the fallen cards, Ryo also looks at Kyou. My stomach hurts. Is this what it means to lay in the bed you made? It kinda is. Kinda is.
いい結果出るといいね。
Kyou smiles at Ryo. What kind of feelings lie behind that smile?
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。私、あんたのことが好き。だから、もう私に優しくしないで。私、バカだからさ、優しくされると勘違いしちゃう。これ以上、優しくされちゃう。
Embrace your inner geek.
Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Startled me for a moment. My own alert. Ever since then, Kyou has only ever smiled at me. Does it mean she has already gotten over it? Or is she perhaps forcing herself to smile?
何？どうしたの？
Nah, nothing.
よそ見してないで、ちゃんと亮の方見ときなさいよね。
Yeah.
ともやくん。
Hmm?
占いますね。
Yeah. Oh my god, let's see how this goes. She skillfully shuffles the cards, then she holds them out to me.
好きな部分で切ってください。
I stare at the tarot deck and divide the cards roughly halfway through. Ryo puts the bottom half of the cards on top and she sets the cards up. Sets the cards up.
ヘキサグラムスプレッドで占います。六芒星の形に置かれたカードには、それぞれ過去、現在、未来、状況、解決策、本心、そして結果という意味を持ちます。
Yeah.
並べます。
One by one she lays out the cards in front of me. 1, 2, 3. Finally, the last one. The 7th card is placed on the center of the hexagram. Nobody in attendance says a word. All of them instead have their eyes fixed on the cards. I can even hear Kyou gulping next to me. The girls who were up until now making fun of us, Kyou, and even me, everyone is very tense. Ryo takes a quiet deep breath and checks the cards one by one. Slowly she takes her finger off her
1
lips.
枚目。過去を示すカード。
Everyone's attention focuses on the quiet voice.
逆位置のです。死神。惰性。
Right off the bat, we have an ominous feeling card.
2枚目の現在を
The
示すカ
prophecy.
ードは
Oh yeah.
逆位置のストレングス。力。
The reversed strength.
意味は迷いや弱気。
It feels as though something just pierced my heart. What she said is painfully on the dot.
3枚目。未来を示すカード。逆位置のザ・ハングドマン。これは
Oh, sorry.
エゴ、利己主義や自暴自棄という意味です。
How can it be egotistic and self-abandonment at the same time? What? It feels as if she has only had bad things to say. Or maybe I'm misinterpreting the words. The stairs around us feel somewhat cold. However, what makes me feel even worse is that none of them are off.
4枚目はそれらの問題に対する解決
I'm
策。
curious what this is.
正位置のザ・ヒエロファント。法王。意味は援助や寛
There
大
it
です。
is.
5枚目。周囲や相手の状況。逆位置のザ・チャリオット。戦車。ライバル、ジレンマ。
The girls around us start to chatter. All I can do is to stare at the
6
cards.
枚目。あなたの潜在意識。願望を示すのは逆位置のザ・ハーミット。意味は不信、人に言えぬ恋。
I predict a sudden death from a thrown dictionary. Ah, good one, good one. The chatter grows livelier. I notice that Kyou is looking this way. Even though I notice her glance, I keep looking at the cards. The last card, we've had 6 cards up until now, is sitting in the very center. The Wheel of Fortune. It is in the reverse. They're all in the reversed position. I got the same result in exactly the same spot last week, I think. If I remember what Ryo said correctly, it's upright, meaning our destiny, chances, and new developments. In that case, what does it mean when it's reversed?
7枚目。これから暗示する結果を示します。逆位置のホイール・オブ・フォーチューン。意味はすれ違い、早とちり。
When she finally finishes speaking, everyone is silent. Everyone is enveloped by the somber
以
atmosphere.
上のカードから導かれる智也くんの未来は
Ryo raises her head to look at me.
後悔と不安、弱さの中で本当の自分を見つけることができます。自分が一人ではないということを覚えておいてください。すれ違うことに焦りを感じることもあると思いますが、それも一つの道です。自分の気持ちに素直であれば、きっと道は輪となって元ある形に戻ります。
Which means...
私たちはうまくいきます。
How can you draw that conclusion? Ryo says with a smile. However, the reaction of the people around us reactions of the people around us are very sullen.
今のってどう取ったらいいんだろうね。カードの意味だけで言ったらすっごく幸先悪そうなんだけど、悪いってことはいいってことじゃないの？でも藤林さん、最後にうまくいきますって言ったよ。
What should I say? Ryo is well aware herself that her fortune's results are off. Nonetheless, she said the results out loud. But are those results she said just now actually right? It's not just the voices around us. If we go by just the meaning of the cards, this definitely cannot be called a good result.
ともやくん、どうしたんですか？
Nah, nothing. It's just, well, I can't come up with the right words. How should I put this? About the fortune just now, well...
大丈夫ですよ。占いは占いですから。
How should I take what she said to mean?
私たちうまくいきます。そうですよね、ともやくん。
Ryo says and takes a peek at Kyou. I can tell that Kyou gulped when that glare landed on her.
そうだ、藤林さん。私もう一つ占ってほしいことがあるんだけど、いい？はい、いいですよ。ずるい。次私が頼もうと思ってたのに。言ったもん勝ちよ。
Once again, a wall of people forms around Ryo. Outside of the commotion, Kyou and I remain quiet. Hey, how should I interpret those results?
どう取るもないでしょ。
Hey?
今回の寮の占いは当たるのよ。ちゃんとあんたがあの子のそばにいるんだから。さてと、私はもう行くわね。5時間目って教室移動あるから準備しなきゃいけないし。
Yeah.
じゃあね。
Kyou looks at me with a smile and then quickly walks away in the direction of the school building. My eyes chase after her back. She does not turn back even once and disappears at the building. Huh. I sigh deeper than ever. All I can do is to look at the wall of people surrounding Ryo until lunch break comes to an end. Let's do a little bit of the next day, but not too much, because I'm getting very tired. Those words ring loud and clear inside my head. Those two sentences, said by the two of them.
私たちうまくいきます。
今回の寮の占いは当たるのよ。
My consciousness is swaying in and out. It spins endlessly inside my head as if it is tormenting me.
そうですよね、ともやくん。
ちゃんとあんたがあの子のそばにいるんだから。
Whenever I close my eyes, their faces alternately appear and disappear. I think this is the first time we see them together in the same frame. With a smile. Embarrassed. Concerned.
おい、岡崎。
Eh?
どこまで行く気だよ。教室はここだぞ。
Ah. I take stock of where I am. I am about 5 steps away from the classroom door.
何ぼーっとしてんの。歩きながら寝てる？
Sleepwalking. Nah, I was just thinking about something.
どっちの藤林？
Sunahara is right on the money. An explosion of white fills my head. Instinctively, I open my eyes wide and look at Sunahara.
なんだよ、怖い顔して。
Sorry.
随分と悩んでるね。ま、気持ちはわからないでもないけどね。
Sunahara looks at me with a squint and sighs. I wonder what he thinks of me now. He probably thinks I am a miserable moron who does nothing but mope around.
次の授業、吹ける？
Huh?
まあ来いよ。どうせ1時間ぐらい吹けたって今更だろ。
Ooh.
ちょっと早い。
We get some Sunahara time. Ah, hey, Sunahara.
お、チャイム鳴ったね。
Yeah, seems like it.
こうして授業を受けるのってかなり久しぶりじゃない？
That's cause sleeping in class still counts toward attendance.
そうだね。んで、
Hmm?
悩みって一人で解決できそう？姉妹で、しかも双子だもんね。いっそ赤の他人同士だったら楽だったかもしれないけど。
Hey,
ん？
if you wear my shoes, what would you do?
僕がお前の状況だったらか？そりゃ決まってるでしょ。二人ともゲット！
I mean, that's Sunohara for you. Like, what do you expect of him? He briskly raises his thumb and says with a smile, "Think you mind if I beat the hell out of you until you can't move?"
すみません、冗談です。
冗談です。
マジレスするなら、そうだね。相手が一番傷つかない方法を探すのがベストじゃない？
That's the hard part, isn't it?
そう？簡単だと思うけど。
How is this simple? Without a thought, I raise my voice. I know this may be of no concern to you, but this is easier said than done.
岡崎？
I know that I'm in the wrong here, but it's the truth that I wanted to be together with Ryo. But I finally noticed how I really feel. I don't know what to do anymore. Communicate. That's all you have to do. It might be messy, but it's worse to just keep what's the word? Just like persisting in a messy situation that's just gonna get worse over time. The more you wait, the worse it's gonna be. I don't know anymore. For a while, I simply looked at the ground after getting it all off my chest. With every single breath I take, the blood that had boiled up to my head drops back down. Sorry. I shouldn't have taken it out on you.
いや、気にしないけどね。
Sunohara returns to his usual tone.
まあ、恋の悩みってのは難しいよね。
Yeah.
めんどくさいしさ。
Yeah.
正直嫌になっちゃうよね。
Yeah, you're right. I close my eyes and gulp. My head clears as I take deep breaths to ease my feelings. If it's come down to this, I might as well keep my distance from the two of them.
でもまあ、ここで二人ともと距離を置くとか考えてたら、最高にヘタレ野郎だよね。
Ah, he read his mind! I love Sunohara in moments like this. He's awesome. I jolt my head, which was hanging down upward, to look at Sunohara. For a moment, I wonder if he could read my mind.
あのさ、お前ひょっとして自分が綺麗なままでいたいとかって思ってない？
That's not possible. I choke a little on those words.
あと、もう一つ勘違いしてることあると思うんだ。
What is it?
お前さ、今からどう動いても絶対にどっちかを傷つけなきゃいけないんだぜ。
Yep. Well, that...
言ったろ？一番傷つかない方法を探すのがベストって。今のお前ってどっちかを傷つけるってことが前提としてあるんだぜ。その上で自分だけ綺麗なままなんて絶対不可能なんだからさ。
I know that. Of course I know that. That I will have to hurt either of them. Also, the current situation, all it does is just hurts both of them. Ryo just doesn't know, but at some point it's gonna come crashing down, and they're both gonna be hurt. And you are also going to be miserable, and everybody's gonna be miserable, so... Nah. I also know who that either of them is, and that it'll definitely hurt the other one too. But I...
答え、出すのが遅くなればなるほど
There it is.
深い傷をつけることになるよ。
Yep. Yeah.
ちなみにさ、一つだけ言っていいかな。
Hmm?
あんたの悩みは贅沢なんだよ。
Ah, there he is, classic Sunohara. I already know how I truly feel. What I lack is the courage to take that step forward. It's exactly as Sunohara said. I was hoping that this would all come to an end with myself staying clean. How are you gonna stay? You can't keep staying clean. You're just like fooling yourself. I don't want to make them cry. Sunohara, yes. Much love, much love. I don't want to hurt them. I want things to stay like this. They are all fallacies and excuses for how I feel when I face Ryo, and for myself. Those feelings are no lies. However, it's just for saving myself in the end. Now that it has come to this, there is no way this will end without hurting anyone, including me. Instead, I was choosing to ignore everything to save myself.
1枚目過去を示すカード逆位置のです死神
Failure to change. Yeah.
惰性
At Kyo's prompting, I went to the courtyard where Ryo was waiting. There, she confessed to me and I accepted. Although I did not possess the emotion love, we began our
2
relationship.
枚目の現在を示すカードは逆位置のストレングス地味は迷いや弱気
Yesterday, she said those words while Kyo was right next to me. My feelings wavered and I was indecisive and hesitant.
3枚目未来を示すカード逆位置のザ・ハングドマンこれはエゴ利己主義や自暴自棄という意味です
The future. What I will do from now on. That's right, even though I accepted Ryo, I've kept going after Kyo. If this isn't egotistic, then what is?
4枚目はそれらの問題に対する解決策聖一のザ・ヒエロファント法王意味は
Yep.
援
You
助や
have to rely on
寛大です
others. Can't just bear it out by yourself. The problem I am facing is who to choose in the end. Does that mean that there is something that will help me to arrive at the solution? If that is the case, then what Snohara said earlier, is that the assistance meant to help me to make a decision?
5枚目周囲や相手の状況逆位置のザ・チャリオット戦車ライバルジレンマ敗北を意味します
The circumstances of my surroundings and my partner, in other words that of Ryo. Ironically enough, that rival is her older twin
6
sister.
枚目あなたの潜在意識願望を示すのは逆位置のザ・ハーミット意味は不信人に言えぬ恋
The feelings that I cannot tell anyone that have been building up inside me. There's no way I could have told anyone. It's the person who paired me up together with Ryo, her sister. Her twin sister.
7枚目これから暗示する結果を示します逆位置のホイール・オブ・フォーチューン意味はすれ違い早とちり
Finally, the result. The fate that awaits me. Disagreements and jumping to conclusions. This likely means I'll get to experience all of this from now
以
on.
上のカードから導かれる智也くんの未来は後悔と不安弱さの中で本当の自分を見つけることができます自分が一人ではないということを覚えておいてください
Mhm.
すれ違うことに焦りを感じることもあると思いますがそれも一つの道です自分の気持ちに素直であればきっと道は輪となって元ある形に戻ります
Ryo, everything about your fortune, everything that Taro hinted at, is all exactly right. Not a single thing turned out to be wrong. Then why?
私たちはうまくいきます
Is that perhaps not from the results of the fortune but a plea of your own? Does it mean you knew that my feelings are wavering? I mean, she clearly knows that you are dealing with something and she just wants you to rely on her and things will work out from there. But yeah, I think this is a good place to save. And then we'll, because like this monologue and him going back over the results of the let's see. This was 18? Really? Oh my god, what? So many streams already. Yeah. Yeah, so him going over the result of the cards and stuff, it made for a good stopping point. There we are. Yeah, thanks for being there, Beatrice. I always enjoy having you around. Thank you as well, Game Fixer, for hanging out. And whatever is going on, I hope it improves. And at the very least, I hope you manage to chill, relax, and rest well tonight. Yep, this is pretty much it. I am slowly shutting down. So I'm gonna go rest. I will see you again on Thursday with some Skyward Sword. I was about to say Breath of the Wild. Why? What? I played Breath of the Wild ages ago. But anyway, yes, see you then. Hope your week goes nicely and smoothly by then. And yeah, take care. Stay healthy. Do all the good things. Right. Good night. Bye bye.